We are so happy to have Leonardo DiCaprio back with us live this morning.
Thanks for having me.
But you have people pressing up against the windows, as always, wherever.
Seems like that's a common thing around this place.
In Times Square. I think it's you. It has nothing to do with us. Saw the film, a powerful, powerful performance by you. And you really seem to be drawn to complicated characters, the challenge of playing these types of characters.
Usually when a lot of questions still arise about the character and their intentions and their motives, that's when I become interested. When you read, and there's a lot of bad scripts in Hollywood, when you read a script and everything is completely on the page and there's no job left for you to do, that's usually when I'm not interested. But I've fortunately gotten to work with some pretty great material in my time, so I'm very thankful.
Well, and you brought it yet again, I have to say, because there's so many things that have been written about him and said about J. Edgar Hoover, and I want to play a bit of a clip because he ruled the FBI with an iron fist for, like 50 years?
50 years, yeah.
And this is the early years of J. Edgar. Here you go.
You still fancy facial hair, Agent Stokes?
The ladies appreciate it.
And I suppose the ladies' opinions are more important than the Bureau's?
No, sir.
Perhaps you are better suited for the police force than the Bureau of Investigations.
I've been with the department of the Bureau for 7 years, Edgar. Almost as long as you.
No. You were with the old Bureau 7 years, and that Bureau is now gone, sir. And so are you.
Even his voice, his dialect, everything, you are known, Leo, for doing your homework and really researching a role. What did you learn in doing the research for this about him?
I don't even know where to begin. He's always been so shrouded in mystery. There's been so many salacious rumors around J. Edgar Hoover, and his tactics, of course, have always been put under question and great scrutiny, especially during the 1960s with the COINTEL program and all his attacks on the civil rights leaders. But it was just fascinating to learn about his childhood and the country that I now have forgotten about, where we were under attack constantly from Bolshevik invaders. The Red Scare of the teens and 20s in our country, and the country that he came into. It seemed like there was almost great lawlessness. There were bank robbers going from state to state, robbing banks, becoming local heroes in the public eye. And here he came in, this young political upstart with an incredible amount of ambition, fueled really by his mother, his mother's great dreams of political glory. And his father was a big failure in politics. He was mentally insane towards the end of his life. So he had all the great promise of the Hoover name, and she looked towards him to accomplish all this. And he really cleaned our country up and created this federal bureau, this police force that to this day is incredibly ominous, feared, revered, and one of the most respected police forces the world has ever known.
And he did it from scratch. I mean, it was him building it. And you and director Clint Eastwood, I want to ask you about Clint in just a moment, artfully handled the rumors about J. Edgar's personal life.
Yeah.
And in researching that aspect of his life, because there was a lot of things circulating about his personal private life.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth is, I don't think anyone really knows the truth about what happened between these two men. What we do know is they had a lifelong partnership together. They were together for decades. They were inseparable. They went on vacation together. They lived together. They ate lunch and dinner together every night, yet they worked together. And this sort of concept of what it was like to be completely of service, putting your personal life on hold for the good of your job, is a fascinating one. And I felt it was handled with a lot of class and tact in Dustin Lance Black's screenplay, because you understand the two concepts of men almost entering a priesthood. The FBI was their church, and whatever feelings or emotions they had for one another, they bottled up.
You leave it up to the person that's sitting there looking at the screen to make up their own mind about that, which is great and rare, because usually everyone on screen is like telling us what we're supposed to feel. What a transformation. I mean, it goes through 6 decades of his life, and you must have been in that makeup chair, what, for hours?
For the older stuff that I think you're looking at right now, that was about 6 hours every morning. But Clint's pace is incredibly fast. I mean, we did this whole film in a month and a half, and thankfully No, the last couple of weeks, once we had gotten even footing for our characters, we got to do the... It wasn't just the makeup, it was, talking to a young Kennedy as if he was some political upstart who didn't know the first damn thing about politics, and having 50 years of political experience under your belt. For all of us, it was, an interesting challenge. And like I said, the makeup was pretty hard to get used to, but we were thankful that Clint did it towards the end.
Yes, and it must have been a thrill working with Clint.
Yes, it really was. Yeah. I mean, I can go on and on about him too, but there's no one more instinctive than him as a director. He really doesn't have a lot of people around him giving him their opinion. It's him and the monitor, and he sits there and he decides what he likes and what he doesn't like, and he tells you straight off. He doesn't mince words.
No, he doesn't, and George is going to have a chance to talk to him.
Oh, really? Great.
Yeah, so thank you very much. And I know that the movie comes out on Wednesday in a limited release, and then nationwide. What a great birthday gift to you.
Yes, it is my
on
birthday.
Friday. Any great plans for birthday?
Not much so far. I have to go back to work in Australia soon. So.
The Great Gatsby.
Yes, that's right.
You'll have to come back and tell us about that. Thank you so much. Good to see
Always
you again.
Always great to see you.
All right. Yeah, all right. I'll go with you, Jordan.